we wanted to show too the two versions of the Rocky. The Rocky comes in doser and doserless.
Okay.
The doserless one, you can actually put your portafilter on here. That's what this rim is for, this metal rim. Or you can take that off and put a container under there if you want to do something like a French press or drip or whatever, pour over.
Okay.
Okay. So on the doser, you have this in here. And if this was filled, each one of these pie shapes, as it rotates, dispenses one shot. So if you hit it twice, you're going to theoretically get about 14 grams.
Only if it's filled, though.
It's got to be filled. Yep.
Okay.
So if you're only doing 1 or 2 a day, you might want to think about doing the doserless, because you got to fill this to make this actually a doser.
Okay.
And you're going to waste a lot of coffee if it's just you. And if 15 minutes, it's done. Once it's ground, that's it.
Okay.
Bean hoppers, they hold about 3/4 of a pound to a pound of goodness. That's called beans goodness.
What kind of burrs do we have?
We have 50 millimeter flat stainless steel burrs.
Okay.
On both of these. Everything's the same on these except for the hopper on the front, the ground doser.
Okay. And how do I adjust them?
Like this. You push this button down and go like this. Goes from 0 up to 50 some.
Okay. And these are stepped guys? Little notches?
They're stepped, yeah, there's a, see? Yeah, you can only go to each notch, each number.
Okay.
Unlike the mini Mazzer over here, it is infinite. You just turn this, and it's very stiff, by the way, folks, and that's just the way they are. That's what keeps the adjustment. So it's wherever you put it.
Okay.
And there is a stop. This is a stop here, and then going in the other direction. Let's see.
Gotta take the lid off. Go crazy.
It stops in the other direction too.
I see.
So this is a range for espresso.
Okay.
It's not meant to do anything but espresso. Okay. Whereas the Rocky grinders, they can go from espresso right up to French press.
Okay. So but I could use this for a drip, right? Like I could do a fine drip or something like that.
Drip.
Okay. But it really is geared more towards espresso.
Geared more towards espresso.
And what are my burrs on this Mazzer Mini?
58 flat steel.
Okay. Also,
it's about 8 millimeters more than that one over there.
roughly. And also has this doser on the front. Yep. Okay.
It does. And this doser is adjustable. You can change the grams in it.
Okay.
And this is a finger guard. People wonder what that is. It's so you can't stick your finger up the chute and get into the burrs. You'd be, like this. Okay. These machines are, the Rocky is on and off on the doser. And on the doser list, this is your on-off button, but it's not, all it does is put power to it. You have to hold this on to grind.
Okay.
On the mini Mazzer over here, it has a timer. And the ones in Europe don't have timers, but they feel us Americans need timers.
Okay.
This is your portafilter holder down here, and the only way to get your coffee out is to do this.
Got it.
Removable bean hopper with a, see this gate valve goes across. If you want to change beans, you just go like this. Come on.
Finagle it in there.
Yeah, there it goes. And then take it out. You can dump the beans out, put another hopper on, whatever works for you. On this one, you cannot do that. This does not come off except for 3 screws if you had to do any maintenance to it.
Okay.
So you pick the whole thing up and just dump it.
I guess, I mean, because you're using that, like, that's how it's kind of managing the adjustment.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Yeah, this adjustment ring is separate from the hopper.
Okay, so shall we...
Bigger hopper.
Yes.
Comes with a bigger hopper.
What do you think, £1.50?
I'm going to say £1.50.
Yeah.
And it does have a finger guard, too, to keep your fingers out of there. Of course, I can manage.
Oh. I could, too, with my little goblin fingers. Meow. Okay.
So I got these ready to take apart. You know, I didn't want to be fussing with it all day long here while we did this. And this is a reverse thread, by the way.
Okay. Now, we did want to take a moment to show this because this is actually, we decided to go with a brand new one.
Yep.
Just to show the internals and see.
This is brand new.
There's coffee in there.
We just took it apart. And that's what you're going to find.
And it's just the testing for the burrs. You can't actually test them to make sure they work, then take them apart again to clean them because then you don't know.
No, you cannot do that.
Okay.
You cannot do that. This adjustment ring will come off of here if you take this screw out and it just lifts off.
Okay.
But in any case,
so they thread down on there.
There they are. These little doodads here as the ground coffee. Let me get a poker, something to poke with here.
The doodads where?
These tabs.
Okay.
The ground coffee comes out of between the two burrs, goes down in here, and these, as they're going around, make the coffee go to the chute, which is here.
Knock it.
Knock it down there. Knock it out of the park.
Cool.
And so here also, on this, see these tabs, 1, 2, 3. Those fit down in these grooves. And as you can see, there's big heavy-duty springs in there. And those springs are what, when you make your adjustment, make the burr go up or down.
Okay,
the thread takes it down, but the springs make it pop up.
I see. Okay, so when I'm adjusting my burrs, my lower one is just stationary, and I'm just moving my top one up and down for
and
finer or coarser.
Threads on here that correspond with the threads in here, and it just up and down.
All right, now on the Rocky.
I got a gunky on
this one is a used one, but you did vacuum it out.
I did. So the first thing you do on this is there are 3 screws in here on the finger guard. See them sticking out? Okay, so those correspond with the 3 here.
Okay.
And that's how it attaches. So this one is a regular lefty, left out, right in.
Okay.
There's your burr there. And the same 3 tab things. These got a little bit of coffee on them. I didn't get it all on. See how thick and gunky that is?
Yeah.
That's what you get after you use your grinder for a while. That's why you want to get it clean. But there's your 3 tabs on that one that take and do the same thing. As this goes around, it takes it down the chute.
This is not a best practice moment, Gail, for us to show our demo grinder having gunkies in it. Grody. Okay, can you put the 2 burrs side by side for me, Gail, real quick?
I'm here to save the day. I just de-grodied it.
I know.
See?
Yeah.
See?
So there is this considerable difference in size with these guys.
There is.
Okay, so we're going to do a grind comparison, finest and coarsest.
One thing while I got this apart.
Oh, yes.
If you are wondering about your burrs, if you just take your hand and go against the grain of the burr, if it feels really sharp on your finger, it is.
Okay.
Or if you see little, like shiny areas, that means something has nicked the surface of the cutting edge and that it has been damaged.
Okay. And so maybe you're not going to get quite as consistent of a grind.
It's really obvious, too. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to go, ooh, something nicked it like a stone.
And you can replace these.
Yes. Those 3 screws in them.
Yeah.
That's what that's all about. You can buy a set of these and plop them in there.
Cool.
Okay, so we will put them back together and we'll do some comparison.
Of the grinds.
Yeah.
All right.
Licky.
Got your little piles.
Oh, yeah, well, I got it all over me, too. So this is the Rocky grinder, and this is the finest setting. And really, if you feel it, it's very fine. You know, every grinder is going to be a little bit different, though.
Yeah.
That's the way they are. Not all of them go this fine. This is really telky. And then this is the coarse. Well, let's do the fine on the. This is the Mazzer. It's about the same.
Yeah, but it's a little more talky, and it feels a little bit more consistent to me.
Yeah, I would agree.
But just very minor difference.
Yep, very minor. I think you'd probably do pretty good with either one.
And then we've got our chewing tobacco over here.
Chewing tobacco on the Rocky. Inconsistent, which is typical of a coarser grind. And here's the mini Mazzer, which doesn't go quite as coarse, and it's not designed to, but it's more consistent, I would say.
So you could do a press pot on this, I don't know. I think you'd be hard pressed. I would say that you'd probably taking this back just a titch and using it for drip coffee is probably
be really good,
the best.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd use it for press pot.
So.
Gail,
what are we going to call that?
Now, I just am really noticing some inconsistencies in the grind here.
Yeah, we got issues. We have issues.
Cool. All right. So that is the comparison between the Rocky, Rancilio Rocky.
I'm just going to play here.
And the Mazzer Mini with the doser.
And yeah, the Mazzer Mini only comes in a doser, by the way.
Exactly.
It does not come in a doserless in this exact
It has to be Mini E for it to have.
Electronic
but technically, those still are dosers. They just don't have a dosing chamber.
They do not have a chamber. They do it electronically.
Yeah, so it does have a it's not like the doserless Rocky, you're just like
a shoot
going until it stops.
Yep, it's your finger that does the TM. You're the doser.
Yeah. So Gail, why would I buy? So really, this is a little bit more all-purpose than this guy.
This is a lot more all-purpose. You can go right up to French press and down to espresso. I won't say Turkish because I don't think it goes quite that fine.
I think this guy you could maybe do Turkish.
Yeah, I think you could. Well, on the
depending on your model,
there is a stop on these. This screw right here is a stop, so it has a range that goes from somewhere in here over to somewhere over in here. If you took that stop out, now I'm not saying you guys should. If you took it out, it would be, you could go right up to
It'd
French
be crazy.
press. Yeah, you could go real coarse.
Okay, so you could kind of tweak it a little bit. Obviously,
you should.
No, obviously there's a couple $100 price difference between these two.
Yes.
Size difference.
Bigger motor. Everything about this is a little beefier.
The Mazzer probably has more longevity. A little bit more commercial grade than the Rocky.
Yes, it is more of a commercial grade, although the Rockies seem to go forever.
They do, if you take care of them. All right.
Don't put sticks and stones in it.
Yeah, and always run the grinder when you're making it finer.
Yes, the grinder has to be running. Those 2 burrs in there. Picture it. There's ground coffee sitting in there from the last time, and if you're trying to make it finer, make them closer together, all you're doing is compacting that, and it's going to make a mess.
And it could strip the little threads. So, be careful. Cool.
Okay, I will.
Thanks, Gail.
Yeah, you're welcome.